So now we are going to create this age calculator app in HTML, CSS and JavaScript that will help you in order to get the number of years, months and days over here. So guys, let us say if your date of birth was in 2005, so let me just change the year over here. So we scroll up little bit in this case and then we come to 2005 and let us say the month is March over here and the date is 20. So simply the user will be allowed to select one of the dates in this case by using this input box with the type date over here, and when we click on the calculate button you can see that the age is getting displayed, that is 19 years, 9 months and 26 days. Similarly, you can select any day over here for which you want to display the age in this case. So let us say we provide 10th of Jan 2005 and click on calculate. It has been 20 years, 0 months and the 8 days. So we will implement this age calculator application using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So let us move to VS Code. So let me just create a new folder inside the projects folder over here. So we have this age calculator folder that we have created, inside which we are going to create the three files, that is index.html, style.css and the script.js file over here. So as you can see, we have all these three files that are created inside the age calculator folder. Now guys, simply let me just provide the basic HTML template inside the index.html file, and for the title part we will simply name it as age calculator followed by the name of the YouTube channel that you should definitely subscribe if you have not done so. So basically we have this programming for beginners inside the title. Now guys, after this we are going to provide the link to the style.css file over here. So as you can see, this is the line of code that we have already added, and we will also add the script.js file just before the ending body tag over here. So as you can see, this is the basic template that we have created. Apart from this, let us also provide certain styling attributes to the body tag over here so that the background looks more decent. So simply we are going to provide the margin, it is equal to 0, and also we will provide a padding, it is equal to 0, and then for the background property we are going to provide the linear gradient over here, for which we will provide 135 degrees as the angle and then followed by the two colors. So let us provide the yellow color and the other color will be green color over here. Let me also adjust the shade of the yellow and the green colors over here. So as you can see, we have adjusted the shade of the yellow and the green colors in this case. Apart from this, we will also set the width as 100% and also the height as 100 VH over here. So guys, let me just save this file now and let us start the live server over here. So as you can see, we have this open with live server option if you have installed the live server extension for VS Code. So this is how the web page is getting displayed right now after we have set the background color. Now guys, let me just adjust the screen of the VS Code and the browser as well so that we can quickly make the required changes. So we will be writing our code on the left hand side and the same changes will be reflected on the right hand side over here. Now guys, simply we are going to create a new div tag with the class container in this case, and then inside this we are going to provide the heading with the help of the h2 tag over here, and then we will say age calculator as the heading. So as you can see on the right hand side, we have got the heading over here. Apart from this, let us also provide certain styling attributes to the container class. So we provide dot character followed by the container class over here. Let us provide the width first of all as 250 pixels, and also we will provide the background color as well. So guys, simply let me just provide the white background color over here. So as you can see, this is the white background color that we have provided. Let me also provide the padding and the margin as well. So simply we will provide the padding of 20 pixels from top and bottom and 10 pixels from left and right over here. Let me just adjust the zoom functionality of the browser in this case so that it looks more decent. Apart from this, let us also provide the margin as well. So from top we will provide 20 pixels and from left and right we will provide the margin as auto so that we get the div tag at the center of the screen over here. Now guys, apart from this, let me also provide certain border radius as well. So simply we will say border radius of 20 pixels, and also we will provide the box shadow as well. It is 5 pixels from horizontal and then vertical as well. Apart from this, we have the 10 pixels blur effect and the black color, as the shadow. So as you can see, this is the shadow that is getting displayed. So these are some of the basic styling properties that we have provided. Let me just also provide the horizontal line over here after the h2 heading. Now guys, after the horizontal line, let us provide another div tag with the class calculator over here, inside which we are going to have the input box for the user to select the date. So guys, basically we are going to provide the input followed by colon, and we will select the type as date over here. We will simply provide the name as date and also the ID as date in this case. Apart from this, we also want the button as well. So we will provide the ID as button calculate in this case. So as you can see, this is the button for which we are going to provide the text as calculate over here. So these are the two things that we have added. That is the input box that will allow the user to provide the date of birth or any date based on which the age is supposed to be calculated. And then we also have the calculate button over here. Let us provide the styling attributes to the div tag with the class calculator. Once again, we come to the style.css file, and for this particular class, simply we are going to provide the width as 100% first of all, so that it takes the entire width of the container div tag. Apart from this, we will also have the background color with a gray version over here. So guys, simply let me just adjust the color shade in this case. So this is the color that is getting generated over here. Apart from this, what we will do is simply we will say display it is equal to flex, and also we will say justify content space between, so that we get the space in between both the input elements and the button tag over here. So as you can see, the input is on the left hand side and the button is on the right hand side in this case. Now let us provide certain properties to the input and the button as well inside the calculator class. So over here we provide dot calculator, and then we provide the input in order to provide the styling attributes to this date input box. So guys, simply first of all we will provide flex it is equal to 1, so that it takes up the entire remaining space of the div tag. Apart from this, let us also provide the margin as 10 pixels over here, and we will set the background as transparent so that it matches with the color of the div tag, that is the calculator over here. So as you can see, we have provided the margin as well. We will also remove the border and the outline. So border it is equal to none, and outline it is equal to none as well. So there is no border for now, and it is taking the required space within this particular div tag having the class container over here. So guys, this is the basic styling properties that we have provided. Also we will provide the cursor, it is equal to pointer for this input date field. Now guys, apart from this, let us also provide the styling attributes to the button tag as well. So simply we will say button inside the calculator class. So what we want to do is, let us provide the background color as green version over here. So let me just adjust the color in this case. So this is the green color that we are going to use. Apart from this, let us also remove the border. So we will say border it is equal to none. Also the outline it is equal to none in this case. So this is the button that is getting displayed. We will also set the cursor it is equal to pointer over here, so that we get the hand tool when we get the mouse on this particular calculate button. So these are the styling attributes that we have provided for this div tag with the class calculator over here. After this, we are going to provide the p tag, that is the paragraph tag, with the ID that is result in this case, and then we will say age will be displayed here. So guys, basically the age, that is in terms of years, months and days, will be displayed inside this particular paragraph. So over here we will be able to see the age based on the input that is provided by the user after we click on the calculate button. So guys, let us move to the important task, that is writing the JavaScript code over here now. So basically we will identify two things, that is the date and the button calculate IDs. So simply inside the script.js file over here, first of all we will define the date variable. It is equal to document followed by query selector, and we are going to make use of the ID that is date over here. And similarly we are going to copy this button calculate ID and paste it for the second line over here, which means we are identifying the calculate button this time. Now guys, based on the click event of this calculate button, we have to take the date from this particular input box and calculate the age. So basically we have the add event listener for this particular calculate button over here. We are going to listen to the click event, and then we are going to call the function that is calculate age. So simply we are going to provide this callback function over here, which we are going to define now. So simply we provide function followed by calculate age in this case, and then what we have to do is, first of all, we can check whether the user has provided some date or not within this particular input box. So simply we are going to provide the if condition, and then we will say date dot value in this case. So guys, basically whatever value is provided by the user, it will be stored within this value property by using the date variable that we have already defined. So if it is equal to a blank character, which means a user has not provided any date, so simply we are going to display the alert that please provide valid date in this case. So as you can see, we have this alert, and then we have to provide the return statement over here. And if the user has provided some date, then what we have to do is, let us confirm this by printing it on the console section. So over here simply we are going to provide console.log, and within the parenthesis we provide date followed by dot, and then we have this particular value. So guys, let us see on the console section what value we get. So over here, let me just maximize the browser, and then we go to the inspect option over here, within which we have the console section in this case. So when we click on the calculate without providing any date over here, it says please provide valid date. So we click on OK, and let us provide certain date over here, and this is the current date that is getting highlighted over here, that is 18th of Jan 2025. Let us say we provide 10th of Jan 2025 over here, and when we click on calculate, as you can see, this is the value that is coming from this user input. So first of all, we are getting the year followed by the month, and then followed by the date that is selected by the user. So in this way we are successfully able to get the date from the user over here. So guys, let me maximize this VS Code as well. Now what we have to do is, we need to set this particular date as the start date over here. So simply let me just provide another variable, that is start date. In this case it is equal to, and then we have the class that is date over here, which we can use. So guys, basically this is the class that is date in this case, before which we need to provide the new operator. So guys, this class is responsible in order to get the current system date and time over here. So if I show you this, so basically let me just provide the console.log statement, and simply we are going to print the start date over here. Let us see what happens. So when we provide the date over here, and then when we click on calculate, as you can see, it is showing us the current date and time as well. So basically this particular date class is responsible in order to get the current system date and time, but we can also set the date and time based on the user input, that is the value that is selected by the user. So in this case, simply inside this particular parenthesis, what we have to do is, we need to provide this date variable followed by dot, and then we have this particular value over here. So basically we are setting the date and time that is provided by the user over here within this date variable. So let me just save this file now. Let us see what happens when we select the date, that is 10th of January 2025, and when we click on calculate, you can see that the Friday Jan 10th 2025 is getting displayed over here, which is selected by the user. So in this way you can provide your own date within this particular date class in this case. Now guys, after this we also want the end date over here. So basically we have provided the start date from the user, and the end date must be current date. So simply we will say new date in this case, and this will represent the current system date and time in this case. Now we only want to find the difference between the start date and the end date in terms of years, months and days. So guys, let us write the algorithm in order to do that. So simply, first of all, we will say year difference over here. It is equal to, what will be the difference between the year? Basically it is going to be the end date dot get full year this time. So basically we are getting the full year of the end date, and then we have to subtract the full year of the start date over here. So we say minus start date dot get full year. So guys, basically this is finding the difference between the starting date and the ending date in this case. Apart from this, we also want the month difference as well. So we say month difference, it is equal to, once again we provide end date dot, we say get month this time. So this is the method that we can use, followed by minus, and then we have the start date dot get month once again. So over here we are finding the difference between the month of the start date and the end date. Now guys, there is a scenario wherein the end date can be less than that of the start date over here. So let's say the month of the end date is January but the start date is February. So what will happen in this case? It will be 1 minus 2, which will result into a negative number. So we need to handle that as well. So simply we will say if month difference it is less than 0, then what we have to do is, first of all we need to decrement the year difference over here because the year is not completed. So simply we say year minus minus in this case, and then after this, if we get the negative number for the month difference, simply we need to add 12 to it. So guys, to give you an example, let us say if the end date is January and the start date that is provided by the user is February. So basically end date which is 1 over here and the start date which is 2. So 1 minus 2 will give us minus 1, which is not the correct difference of the month. But what will be the difference? When the months are counted from Feb up to the next year, that is January, the number of months will be 11 over here. So simply what we have to do is, for the month difference we need to add 12 in case the month difference is negative in this case. So guys, this will help us in order to get the correct difference in the month. Now after this we need to get the number of days as well, that is days difference in this case. So guys, basically we say day difference, it is equal to, and then once again we provide end date followed by dot, and then we have the get date function minus start date followed by dot, and then we have the get date function once again. So guys, this will give us the difference between the number of days. And once again we need to handle if the day difference is less than 0, then what we have to do. So basically we say day difference, if it is less than 0, then there are two conditions that we need to check. First of all, we have to see whether the month difference is it greater than 0. So what this means is, let us say if the today's date is 18 over here, but the user has provided the date that is 19th of Jan, that is previous year. So what will happen is the end date is 18 but the start date is 19. So we are going to get the negative number over here. But the difference between the month will be 0. That's because both the dates are having the same month, that is January. So in case the difference, if it is greater than 0, then only we need to decrement the month difference. So over here we say month difference minus minus. But if it is not greater than 0, which means it will be equal to 0, then we have to come to the else part over here, and this also means that the year has not completed over here if we have not moved to the date 19, which is provided by the user. So guys, in this case we have to also decrement the year difference by 1 over here. So we do year difference minus minus in this case, and if we have decremented the year, we also have to set the month difference as 11 over here, which must be 0. So in this case simply we say month difference, it is equal to 11 over here. So guys, we will check the examples in order to understand this code, and we will also test the boundary conditions as well, so that our code is robust for the required test scenarios. Apart from this, after calculating all these things, what we have to do is we need to adjust the day difference as well. So we need to add the number of days inside the months in order to get the day difference as positive if the day difference is negative over here. So we have to write another function in this case. So simply we say function and then get days in month over here. So we have this particular function which is going to return the number of days in a specific month. So guys, there is a way in order to find the number of days in a month. So simply we use the date class over here, and inside this date class we need to provide the year and the month. So let me just provide the parameter, that is year and month over here, and the same parameters we are going to provide inside the date class over here. So we have date, year followed by the month, and then followed by another parameter, that is 0 over here. So guys, this is important in order to get the number of days for a specific month that we are going to provide, and the year as well. And then after this simply we provide the get date method in order to get the number of days over here. So guys, to test this, let us provide the console.log statement over here, and then simply we are going to say get days in month, and this time let us provide the year, that is 2025 in this case, and the month, that is January, which is 1 over here. So it is expecting 2 parameters in this case. So let me just save this file now. Let us see what will be the output. So when we provide this particular date over here and click on calculate, you can see that we are getting the number of days as 31 for this particular month. Let us change the month to 2 over here, which is the month of February. Let me just test this once again. So we provide the date, we click on calculate. So you can see for the month of February we are getting 28 as the number of days, and if we select the previous year, that is 2024, which was the leap year, for which case the month of February should have 29 number of days. So when we click on calculate once again after selecting date, you can see that we are getting number of days as 29. So in this way we are getting the days in a specific month based on the year and the month that we have selected. So guys, what we have to do is we need to make use of this particular function and add that particular number to the day difference, which is negative right now. So over here we will say day difference plus it is equal to, and then we will say get days in month, and this time what is the year and month that we have to set? Basically we are going to take it from the start date over here. So start date dot get full year, that is the method for the year, and we are going to say start date dot get month this time. So basically we have this get month function. So guys, after these lines of code we will get the year difference, month difference, and the day difference as well, and simply we need to provide these results inside the result ID, that is the paragraph HTML element. So simply let me just copy this ID and once again duplicate this query selector over here, and simply we will say result as the variable. So over here we will say result followed by dot, and then we have this inner HTML, it is equal to, and then simply we will set the string. So we will say age is followed by colon, and then we will provide the year difference first of all. So we have year difference, and then we will say years followed by comma, and then we have the month difference over here. So we say month difference, and then after this we have the months followed by end, we will have the day difference as well. So we have this day difference followed by the days keyword. So guys, let me just save this file now. Let us see what will be the output. So when we select the date over here, so remember that the current date is 18 over here, and let me just select the date, that is 10 in this case, in order to find the difference. So when we click on calculate, you can see that age is 0 years, 0 months, and 8 days. Since the difference between the date, that is 10, and 18 is 8 days over here. Let us select the past date in this case. Let us say we go 1 month back and we select the date, that is 18th of December 2024. So when we click on calculate over here, it is exactly 1 month and then 0 days in this case. Let us go to the previous year, that is the month of January, and exactly the date, that is 17, which will give us 1 year, 0 months, and the 1 day over here. So as you can see, 1 year, 0 months, and the 1 day. And if your date of birth is within the year, that is 2004, so let me just scroll up little bit to 2004 year in this case. So as you can see, we have this 2004. We go to the January month, and let us say the date is 1st of January 2004, and when we click on the calculate button, you can see that the age is 21 years, 0 months, and 17 days in this case. So guys, in this way we can get the difference between the years, months, and the days as well, and display it as the age on the HTML web page. Also guys, there is one problem with this particular age calculator. So after this date, as you can see, this is the present date that is highlighted by the date input. We will be able to select the future dates as well, which should not be allowed. So guys, what we can do in order to avoid this, simply let me just come to the script.js file over here. Simply we will say date followed by dot, and we have to set the max date which can be selected by the user over here for this particular input box. So guys, we say date followed by dot, and then we have max in this case, it is equal to, we take the current date right now. So we have the new date in this case, that is the class over here, followed by dot, and then we have something called as toISO string, which is a method in order to display the date in a specific format. So guys, just to show you over here, let me just provide the console.log statement before providing the date.max. In this case, simply we will say new date. First of all, let us see what will be displayed on the console section. So when we come on the browser and go to the console section over here, you can see that we are getting the current date, that is January 18, 2025. But when we convert it to the ISO string, so simply we say to ISO string over here. So we have to ISO string method. Let me just save this file now. And now if you see, this is the format of the date that is getting displayed. So first of all, we have the year followed by month, and then we have the date over here. So the first 10 characters are giving us the exact date, and then after the T character, we are having the timestamp over here. So simply what we have to do is we need to make use of the substring method in order to get the first 10 characters. So we say 0 as the start index and 10 as the end index over here. Let me just save this file now. So now as you can see, we are not getting the time after the T character over here. So basically this is the max value that we want to set inside this particular date picker over here, after which these values will be disabled. So guys, what we can do is the same line of code that we have provided inside the console.log statement over here, we need to provide it for this date.max over here. So let me just remove this part, and then after this let me just paste it over here, and then I'll just remove the console.log statement. So as you can see, date.max, it is equal to new date followed by 2 ISO string and then followed by substring between 0 to 10 over here. Let me just save this file now. And now if you see the changes over here, when we select the date picker, you can see that the future dates are disabled now and we will not be able to select them. So when I click on them, we are not able to select these dates after the present date over here. So in this way you can avoid the selection of the future date by using this particular date picker. Comment in the comment section below what is your age in terms of years, months and days by using this particular application. This will help you to practice this HTML, CSS and the JavaScript code. So guys, let me know in the comment section whether you have learned something out of this video. Please make sure that you like this video so that it reaches to more people, and subscribe to the channel so that you get the notifications on upcoming videos as well. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, stay tuned.